Hello and a warm welcome to the Celtic Forever podcast, where on today's show we're going to have a wee look back on the Bayern Munich game, a wee word on that. We're going to do the massive preview for the Dundee United game on Saturday. We've got a lot to get through in regards to Celtic being back to league business, and we're going to hit on the news and Celtic gossip and rumours and stuff like that as well. So hit that like, share and subscribe button please, especially that subscribe button, that would be appreciated folks. Thanks very much. So let's get started folks, plenty to get through. Hello and a warm welcome to the Celtic Forever podcast. Got John here to go through the big game of the weekend, Celtic versus Dundee United. Back to league duty. Champions League is done for now. We're back on the Champions League duty on Tuesday against Munich over in Germany. But we're here to talk about the Dundee United game. How are you doing, John?
I'm all right. Aye. Did you enjoy the game?
I did enjoy it actually, John. It was okay, but you know, don't I go into too much with referees, because we do that quite a lot on this podcast, but I thought the guy was pathetic, the referee. Many times was that we had the chance to throw that ball right into the box from a corner and didn't get the chance to do it, John. I counted 4 or 5. And then the opposite at the other end, giving corners to Bayern Munich when they weren't corners, all this sort of stuff all adds up in a game like that, John. A team like Celtic needs the wee bit of luck, we need that those decisions to go for us. And every single decision went against us. So fair play to the Celtic lads for coming back in that one, John, and getting a goal. And could have equalised a couple of times as well, to make it 2 each. But we just couldn't quite get that equaliser, John.
No, that was a good last 25 minutes. I think they came out the traps like that. Well, they did come out the traps fast because we had the goal chopped off, of course. But, if they kept at it for 25 minutes like that, I think we could have beat them a day. I think Celtic lacked belief. I think that was the problem. I didn't think they believed initially that they could go out there and beat Bayern Munich. And in the end, it was just a story of too little, too late, Xander. And I think they performed well the last 25 minutes. That's the way we can perform. But sadly, I think it just lacked the belief.
Yeah, but it was a decent game. And to be fair to Munich, they're an outstanding team, John. The way they passed, a team that cost £500 million, that's with a B, folks, £500 million is going to pass the ball about like that. I was listening to that Radio Scotland, and one of them said they could have watched Bayern Munich all night. This is the same, BBC, that praised Rangers for getting defeated against Manchester United, etc. John, where's the praise and the respect for the Scottish teams? I could have watched Bayern Munich all night, all this nonsense. Anyway, we'll move on for that, John. But that game's gone. Well done to the boys for getting a goal. Dyes and Meader again, John, outstanding from Dyes, and he's just a player on top form. And I really do think he needs a wee shot through, a wee consistent run through the middle.
I definitely think if we could have started with Dyson and Jota, I think it could have been better as well, because when they two were on, Jota on the left-hand side, Dyson through the middle, and Kuhn on the right. Even Yang, when he came on, I thought he was outstanding. He made a difference. But if we could have started with, the speedy front three that we've got, Kuhn, Maida and Jota, I think we could have got something out of that, definitely. And that's not to take anything away from Big Adam either. It's nothing to do with that. I just think the pace up front frightened Bayern Munich. When Maida played through the middle, he was closing our keeper down, putting him under pressure. They didn't know how to deal with him. Lesson learned.
Yeah, lesson learned, John. And the return leg is on Tuesday, 8 o'clock kickoff. So good luck to the boys over in Germany, because it's going to be very, very tough, and as everybody knows anyway. Right, John, we'll park that because that's gone. Right, that's away. Well done to the lads for a spirited last half hour, as you say, John. So well done to the boys. Couple of wee bits of news. Not much happening just now. Obviously, apart from the big games that are happening, there's not much news. 5 weeks Bernardo's out for, John. He's out with an ankle injury for 5 weeks. So you were right. It was a serious injury. He is out for 5 weeks, so we're going to miss him, obviously. But the good news is James Forrest is back in training. We've been asking where James Forrest is for about 2 or 3 weeks now, John. But the news is he's back in training. He won't be available for United, but could be available for Bayern Munich.
Aye, that's good news. And bad news about Bernardo, of course, but good news that James is back. I think it's too little, too late to make a difference against Bayern Munich, though.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's just a wee bits of injury news, John. That's all we've got, 2 injuries, and that's the news on them. Nothing else really, John. I don't think there's really much more happening at Celtic just now. We're in the middle of a very busy week, aren't we? 3 games in 6 days, John. I mean, that is quite bad. 3 games in 6 days is quite bad, you know. No rest for the boys, so I'd imagine there's going to be big changes against Dundee United. But, you know, Dundee United 3rd in the league. This is us starting the preview, by the way. Dundee United in the league, 3rd in the league, John, right behind Rangers. Well, with about 8 points behind Rangers. But they're flying, John. They're playing well, Dundee United, and it's a game that we may have to make some changes, rest some players for the big game on Tuesday.
This is it, isn't it? This is always the big dilemma. For me, it's all about the league. I don't think Celtic's not going to get a win in Germany. That's no pessimism. That's realism. I just don't think that's going to happen. I hope I'm proved totally wrong, but I don't think that's going to happen. So for me, it's a case of it's all about the league. Go with your strongest team against Dundee United. And then trust in the players that they can, you know, travel to Germany and do a half-decent job there. Keep it respectable. I would definitely go with the full-strength team, Xander, against United. Because, like you says, they're 3rd in the league. They're on good form. And I think we're going to need at least 3/4 of our best players out on that pitch to beat them.
Yeah, that's it, John. We're going to need to put in a performance against United. So we'll go through the predicted 11 in a wee minute because that'll be interesting. It's we were quite close with the Raith Rovers game, actually. Both days, John, we were quite close with that. But with this one, it's going to be a slightly stronger team, I think, than the Raith Rovers game. So Nick Walsh, John, he's the referee on Saturday. Kevin Clancy, he's on the VAR. That's your officials for the game. Pricing of the bookmakers, we've got Celtic at 1-5. 1-5 Celtic win, and 7-1 the draw, and Dundee United to come out of Celtic Park is priced at 16-1. So, John, I think you're quite right with your comparisons. Celtic playing Bayern is similar to Celtic playing a Dundee United, a Rangers, and Aberdeen at Celtic Park. With Celtic being the favourite, so it's sort of similar comparison, isn't it?
Aye, it is. Celtic are going to be expected to be favourites at Celtic Park, no matter who they're playing in Scotland. I mean,
yeah.
Maybe if Rangers are on good form, there might be kind of evens, but other than that, every other team that comes to Celtic Park, Celtic, they're always going to be overwhelming favourites. But sometimes that doesn't happen, you know. Sometimes it's a less than favourable result for Celtic. Just every now and again it happens.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the game on Saturday, actually, John. Dundee United are a good footballing team. You know, they play some good stuff. They don't park the bus. They always come at us. You know, we only played them about 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, we played them at Celtic Park. So we know exactly what we're up against, I suppose. And Brendan especially, he knows, their style of play, their tactics, all that kind of stuff. So, and the last game was comfortable enough, wasn't it? 2-0, I think it was. A late Rio Hatate goal. Cemented the win, 2-0. It was a decent win, John. We just did what we had to do, and that's what we're looking for on Saturday.
Aye. I thought they parked the bus up at Tannadice, sure. The game before that, they were just unbelievably difficult to break down. Just tangerine bus parked on the 18-yard line. But they did that at Tannadice. But I thought they were a wee bit more. They came out a wee bit at Celtic Park, and that kind of exposed them a wee bit, I think.
Yeah, it was so strange that, isn't it? Because they parked the bus at Tannadice and try and attack at Celtic Park. You know, it's supposed to be the other way about. So I don't know. I don't know what the manager's thinking. All right, John. So as we say, there might be some changes. There may not be. We're only guessing here, folks. So no stupid comments about you got it wrong or anything like that. So what are you thinking, John? You're predicted 1 to 11.
For me, it's got to be as strong as possible. Casper Schmeichel, Trusty, Carter Vickers. I think Ralston might play this one with Greg Taylor. We'll get on to Schlupp in a minute. I think Greg Taylor will start this one. Centre of the park, Hatate, who's, I don't know, his form's not been great, has it, Hatate?
Up and down, up and down, yeah.
He shines in wee spells, Xander, for me. He's no consistent enough, to be honest with you. And I don't think he has been since his first season. But Hatate, anyway, he'll start with McGregor and Engels. Up front, I think he's got to go with Jota, Maeda and Kuhn.
Yeah. Sorry, John, you broke it a wee bit there. I take it you said Kuhn there.
Kuhn, aye.
Yeah. Yeah, that is like the strong team that I would go for. But I would put Schlupp in there instead of Taylor, who I thought made quite a few mistakes. Okay, it's a top class team we're playing against in Germany, against the Germans, sorry. But he did make a few mistakes, you know, putting the ball out the park, stuff like that. But I would start with Schlupp. He looks decent, didn't he? I think you were going to touch on him, John. But I would start with him. I would also start with Scales, John. I'll give one of the centre halves a rest. Either one, take your pick. Give one of them a rest. Callum, he can't get a rest because we didn't sign a central defensive midfielder, so he's got to start. And I'd maybe start with McCowan, John. So I'd take Rio off and start with McCowan. The rest I would keep the same, John, because he's going to start with Big Adam Ida against Bayern Munich, I think. So I think it will be Dyson through the middle with Jota and Kuhn, John.
I mean, that's just what I think Brendan will start with, but me personally, I would like to see. I would definitely like to see Maeda through the middle up front. And who was the other player you mentioned there? I was going to Luke McCowan ahead of Hatate. I would go for that. I would go for Luke McCowan ahead of Hatate. I just don't think Hatate's done anything since he came back from his injury. Scored a couple of goals, had a couple of nice wee spells in games, but he kicks the ball at the park. He has terrible shots and he keeps passing the ball to opposition players. I just don't think that's helping us right now.
No, especially against the quality that we were up against the other night, John. That's every ball has got to be 100% accurate. Look at the Germans. I don't. Apart from the last 20 minutes, you know, there might have been a wee bit of slack. But apart from that, John, they never gave the ball away once, did they?
No, they didn't give the ball away. No, they're some team, Bayern Munich, but we thought that anyway. We thought they'd be a great team. You don't spend all that money and turn up at any stadium with a garbage team, do you? They're just an outstanding outfit. And it was good to see them applauding the Celtic fans as well. That was a nice touch from Bayern Munich, I thought.
Yeah, I didn't see that myself, but yeah, that's a nice touch, John. Well done to the Bayern boys for that, you know. And what an atmosphere at the game, John, as well. It sounded very, very, very loud. You know, it was probably the best I've heard in decades at Celtic Park. You know, that was some atmosphere that night, and what a tifo with the Green Brigade as well.
It was outstanding. The whole night was outstanding, apart from the result, obviously. But the Bayern Munich players were applauding the Celtic fans after the Champions League anthem. They all turned round to the Celtic fans and they're applauding them and stuff. So that's always good to see. They appreciate that. They appreciate a good crowd. And that's what every player wants to. It's the stadium every player in Europe wants to experience as the Champions League Celtic Park nights. Santa, aye. But anyway, back to Dundee United.
Yeah, back to the game on Saturday. Well, we'll see what he picks. We'll see what team he picks because he is going to rest some for this game on Tuesday night, John. But you know, on the back of his mind, he'll realise it's a massive 3 points as well. You know, a chance to go 16 points clear of their Rangers when they play Hearts on the Sunday. So it's he'll have that in mind as well, John. So he's a clever man, Brendan. So we'll wait and see what he does an hour before kick-off on Saturday, John. Score prediction.
I'm going to say 3-1 Celtic. United to get a goal in this one. 3-1 Celtic.
All right, okay, I'll go 3-0. Right, John. Good luck to the boys on Saturday. You know, it's a game I look forward to. It's always a good game against Dundee United, to be fair. So we'll wait and see what happens. 3 points, 16 points clear, and we'll take the next game as it comes, John. But 3 games, 3 games in 6 days. What do you think of that? I know there's not much we can do about it, but they could have moved the game to the Sunday or whatever, John, a later kick-off, something like that. What do you think of that? 3 games in 6 days. There's not much rest time, is it?
No, it's definitely no. But they can't move the game to Sunday if we're playing on Tuesday. That's the thing, Xander. But I know what you mean. Maybe there's nothing you can do. That's it. That's just the way it is. You're in the Champions League. You need to live with the consequences, I'm afraid.
Yeah, John, it's quite bad. They could have gave Celtic the game on the Wednesday night, something like that. Something could have been different, slightly different, But as you say, we've got to play the fixture, so that's it. That's what we need to do. All right, John, we'll leave that there. What I want to do now is go through some fixtures, John, coming up over the weekend. Sorry, there's quite a lot of good fixtures coming up, but we'll do our predictions for the league, John. Right, we'll do that just now. We'll do that. We're doing a competition between ourselves, folks. John's 10-2 up just now, so I've got a wee bit of catching up to do, and it's score predictions for the SPL and any other big games that are happening. So let's have a look at it, John. Right, so Saturday we have Dundee against Aberdeen. Dundee up and down just now. Aberdeen on free fall. What are you thinking, buddy?
Dunfermline was the only team to fall short at Aberdeen, weren't they? They lost 3-0 in the cup to Aberdeen. That might give them a wee lift, Sander, Aberdeen, So I'm going to go for a draw there. I'm going to say 1-1.
1-1. I'll say 2-1 to Aberdeen, John. So, what's happened to Aberdeen? You've got to ask that question. It's quite scary what's happened to them. 10, 11 games undefeated. I think it was 10 wins in a row and a draw, something like that, John, and then just total free fall. So I'm going to give them the win. I think they're going to get back on the horse, if you like, and get that win. So next up is Kilmarnock and Johnston. I think every team in the SPL has been sort of up and down this season, hasn't they, John? There's not been one, apart from Celtic, one team that's been, constant with their form, any decent runs, anything like that. I think every single team has been up and down the whole season, John. So I think Kilmarnock and St Johnstone are the same. St Johnstone are on the up just now, 4 wins on the bounce, John. So what are you thinking? Kilmarnock, St Johnstone?
Aye, it is up and down for most teams. So I'm going to go for a Kilmarnock home win. I'm going to say 2-1 Kilmarnock.
St Johnstone on form. It's Rugby Park, plastic pitch, blah, blah, blah. I'll say 2-1 St Johnstone. Okay, next on the Saturday, John, we've got Motherwell still without a manager, against Ross County.
Ross County's always a tough team to break down, aren't they? Motherwell, they're kind of a wee bit of free fall right now as well. I'm going to go for a 2-week draw.
Yeah, I'll go for the home win there. 1-0 for Motherwell. Okay, into the Sunday, John. Hearts against the Rangers. Hearts through the next round of the Cup. They're through to the quarter-final after a penalty shootout. They're playing a wee bit better. They're away from the relegation sort of zone, aren't they, as well? So, but they're still not any great shakes, are they, Hearts? Rangers obviously just knocked out the Scottish Cup by the Minnows. Well, they're no Minnows anymore, but they were Minnows, Queen's Park, John. So their heads will be all over the place. What are you thinking about that one, John?
Another tough one, isn't it? Kilmarnock, they'll be high in confidence after beating St Mirren in the Cup. Who's St Mirren playing this week?
Hibs.
Oh, we never did that game, did we? Or we still to get to it.
Still to get to it, aye.
Anyway, Hearts, Rangers, tough one. Rangers, they'll be in a bit of a downer after that. Let's hope so anyway. I'm going to go for a third draw here. I'm going to say 1-1.
Yeah, I think a lot will do with the result at Celtic Park, John. If Celtic get a good convincing win and they go 16 points clear, I don't think they'll win the game either. So I'll say, because I think Celtic will win, obviously, I'll say 2-1 to Hearts. Right, John, the one you mentioned there, St Mirren Hibs. Hibs are also on a bit of decent form, aren't they? That's who we've got in the quarter-final of the Scottish Cup. But it's St Mirren at home, John, to Hibs. Eachy peachy that one, into what are you thinking?
It's a tough one to call that. St Mirren, their heads might be down after the penalty kick shootout against Hearts. I don't really, it's a hard one to call that. But I'm going to go for a home win, 1-0 St Mirren.
Yeah, 1-0 St Mirren. I just think Hibs are, they've got the more quality in their team, haven't they? So, but it's, it's at St Mirren Park. It's hard to guess, isn't it? That's why nobody ever wins in the bookies. So I'll say 2-0 to Hibs, John. 2-0. But St Mirren are always good for a goal, aren't they? They really do bang in the goals, don't they? All right, John. Just a couple other wee games. Maybe get a wee prediction off you, and we'll add it to the competition. Glasgow City versus Celtic, Friday night, 7:30. What you think, buddy? The ladies, that is.
The ladies team, of course, aye. I watched the last one in the cup. Glasgow City won that one.
Mm-hmm.
They're a good team, Glasgow City. A lot of big heifer lumps in their team. I don't know, Celtic ladies, I think since they lost the lassie Caitlin Hayes, she was their best player and they've lost her. But they're no far behind Glasgow City in the league, so I'm going to go for a wee Celtic ladies 2-1 win.
It's going to be tough that for the ladies, isn't it? It's hard to predict the ladies' game as well, isn't it? Because sometimes these games are all over the place. So I'll say 3-2 to Celtic ladies. 3-2. And the big one of the weekend, John. The big one. Falkirk versus Ayr. Brunei watch, John. Brunei watch. This is massive, isn't it? What a chance for Brunei to, stamp his authority in that league by beating Falkirk. It's going to be some game as well, John, if you can get it on the telly anywhere. It's in Falkirk, John. Ayr United are away from home. Both teams are playing well. Both teams are flying. Both teams are playing actually some nice football as well. It's one I wish I could watch, John, but I can't because I'm busy. But what are you thinking, John? What's your wee prediction for this one in Brunei watch?
When is that game on?
Tomorrow, John, at 3:00.
All right, I thought it was a Friday night game. It would have been on BBC if it was, but
yeah,
that's a tough game, isn't it? Falkirk are a half decent team, so you've got to be aware of that. They're no mugs. So, and that said, Brunei's team, they're flying at not flying at the top. I think they're at the top with a game in hand. The team under them's got a game in hand. Sorry. So I'm going to go for a 1-0 Falkirk win.
Yeah, it looks as though Falkirk are going to win this one as well, John. But I'm going to go against the grain because I'm going to stick with Brunei for now with a 2-1 win for Ayr United, John. I think he'll have his team, battling in this one. And the Falkirk will be battling as well, they're a decent team, Falkirk, aren't they? A very good team, actually. Who's the manager, John? Who's the Falkirk manager again? Can't even remember. The ex-Celtic trainer. McGlynn, that's him. Yeah. He's a good manager as well, John. He's a very decent manager, McGlynn. Again, up against Brunei, so it's older against younger, if you like. So it's going to be interesting, that one, John. I'm looking forward to that one. I think it's going to be on the radio, so I'll maybe listen to that one on the radio. All right, John. Okay, there's just one other game that we'll not get a prediction off you, but it's just one for the Celtic fans to look out for. With us going over to Munich on Tuesday night, it's Bayer Leverkusen against Bayern Munich. Battle of the Bayern. So that's Leverkusen are sitting second in the league, John. So they're a decent team. So they will give Bayern a game. I don't know if I'll be watching that one. That's on Saturday at 5:30. That'll be on TNT Sports. But it's one the Celtic supporters will be keeping a wee eye on, I would imagine, John.
Well, maybe aye. Personally, myself, I won't be watching anything like that. I've got absolutely no interest in it. Obviously, I hope Bayern Munich get beat. Nothing against Bayern Munich. It's just it might put them in the wrong frame of mind for the Celtic game. That's all.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I will. I'll not be watching it myself, Xander. I don't have any real interest in it, but I will be looking out for the result.
Yeah. Okay. That's it, John. There's no more other big fixtures really that we can keep our eye on that involve Celtic or anything like that. The only other one is the B team, John. They play on Saturday, and who is it to play? Who's it to play again? I can't even remember. Nah, it's gone. Can't remember who they play, John. The B team play. It's Bonus. Sorry, John. Yeah, Celtic B against Bonus on Saturday at 3:00. If anybody's interested in that. The boys are up against Bonus at home if you want to get yourself along to where the Celtic B team play. Right, John, that's it. That's us. That's it done. I don't know if I want to run through a couple of wee comments, just one or two.
I can if you want, Xander, but Celtic B team against Bonus, it's not something I don't honestly have any interest in the Celtic B team unless they're playing, the Rangers B team.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Other than that, I've got absolutely no interest in it, to be honest with you.
No, I'm the same, John. It's good to hear when they get a result, but it's mainly a training exercise for the reserves, for players to try and get into the first team into it. So good luck to the boys anyway, John. I'll quickly run through a couple of the first goal scorers. Not done this now. Well, while we are digging out the comments, I'll run through a couple of the first goal scoring prices, John, with the bookmakers to score against Dundee United. This is the first goal, remember, folks. Adam Ida, he's priced at 9-2 to score the first goal if he starts. Kuhn, he's priced at 11-2 if he starts to score the first goal. And this one surprised me a wee bit, John. Dyson Maeda is priced at 6, a massive 6-1 to bag the first goal against Dundee United. That's good money, John, on Dyson scoring the first goal.
Well, maybe they're banking on him no playing. Don't know. That's a strange one, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, you've got Adam, who has hardly scored many goals this season. Well, he scored earlier on in the season, didn't he? And then he scored a couple of weeks ago, but he's not scored in the last two. But he's priced at 92 and Dyson at 6-1. So that's I thought Dyson would have been the hot favourite to score the first goal in the game. But anyway.
Exactly. The last two games he's scored 6 goals. He bagged a double, then a hat trick, then he scored against Bayern Munich. So that is big odds.
Yeah, I thought Dyson would have been about 41 to score the first goal. But anyway, 61 if you've got a few pound and you're feeling flush, treble your money, double your money, whatever, get it on Dyson. So gamble responsibly, folks. So I just thought I'd mention that, John, because I thought it was quite interesting.
It is interesting. I don't gamble myself, but if I was a gambling man, I'd maybe take a wee punt on that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
Comments. Paul McEwen, hail Celtic, and the Celtic women are well. Thanks for that, Paul.
Thanks, Paul. Cheers, buddy. Keep the comments coming in, pal.
And then his next comment was 1-0, 2-0, 2-1 to Celtic. You can only pick one score, Paul. You can't just pick every score that's available to man.
Yeah, I think he's just basically saying he wants a win there, any win. But it never quite happened, unfortunately, Paul. But I know what you're. Because I was thinking the same, 1-0, 2-1, any sort of win, but it just didn't quite happen for us. But it's all about the money for Celtic, isn't it, John? It's getting that cash. So big bucks for Celtic coming. Yeah,
this is it. All you need is cash.
All you need is cash, John. That's it. And we're going to be cash rich, John. Be getting into the qualifiers, and if we were to miraculously go through against Bayern Munich, miraculously, obviously, that'd be another 11 million. So we'll wait to see what happens on Tuesday night, Paul.
Aye, well, let's not get greedy. I think Celtic's still got a lot of money in the bank. The Champions League this season's been really good to Celtic, and it only bodes well for a stronger team in the future, Xander. So everything's good right now.
Yeah, it's brilliant right now, John. To be fair, nobody's annoyed or angry with getting beat by Bayern Munich. Nobody, and I mean nobody. There may be one or two somewhere, but the boys did us proud on Tuesday night, didn't they? And the team is absolutely flying. So well done to Brendan and the boys.
Aye, well done indeed. There is always a few, but anyway, you're moving swiftly on. Thanks, Paul. And next up's Roseanne.
Yeah.
And Roseanne says, shame we didn't win, guys, but it could have been a lot worse. This is a fabulous team we played. All I can say is I think we will get better in the coming years. That's basically my point as well. And she says, this is my hope anyway. What can we do against that kind of money? But hope.
Yeah, hope. We were all hoping, weren't we? Good comment, Roseanne. Thanks for that, pal. But no, you can't beat that. Billionaires, $500 million spent on the team, and that's not including wages and stuff, John, So, no, we did ourselves proud, and that's what we can really ask against teams like Bayern Munich.
Aye, like I says in the last podcast, what's the difference between a £140 million player and a £20 million player? There can't be that much difference between them. What's the big thing that divides the two players? Is it confidence, belief, whatever? How much better can you get ability-wise? There isn't that much better you can get, I don't think, ability-wise, unless you're superhuman, but it's just all about what you can afford to spend. It's what a player's worth to a team, I suppose.
Yeah, and to be fair, John, that boy at 140 million was different class. He really was. I can't remember the boy's name off the top of my head, but what a player. We spoke about him in the last podcast. But aye,
it's fantastic. Aye, it's amazing. Aye, but 140 million quid could buy a whole team, the stadium, and 20 quality players for that.
Yeah, that's it, John. I know what you're saying. It's crazy, isn't it? It's just stuff that Celtic can only dream about, really. But we gave our best shot. We're not out yet. Still have a wee chance. Anything can happen, as you always say, John. So we'll just need to wait and see what happens on Tuesday, folks. And thanks for the comment, Roseanne.
Aye, thank you, Roseanne. Always good to hear from you.
Yeah, cheers, Roseanne. Keep the comments coming, pal.
One club since 1888 said, not expecting anything, so any win is a bonus. Well, I know I says 2-1 to Celtic, and the predictor, Xander, says 2-0, but that was basically just hope, really. It wasn't based on what I thought Celtic could do, it's just hope.
Yeah, the goal with 2 seconds to go of injury time, John, killed us. 2 seconds and that whistle was blown at nothing each. Don't know what would have happened after that, John. We'll never know. But that was a sickener, wasn't it? So as soon as that goal went in, John, that was a sickener for the boys. But they held it together, and fair play to them.
Aye, and a big moonface scoring as well. Harry Kane, what is that all about? How that guy was a £90 million player is beyond me as well.
Yeah, I know that's to give him that space at the back post. It's suicide, really, isn't it, John? All that space, just to basically tap into the net, and they could have scored that, but the boys defended well up to that point, to be fair, even the first goal was a sort of a lucky double ricochet, wasn't it, straight to the boys' feet, and to be fair to him, it was a nice finish, but no, John, the game's away, it's gone, but I was quite glad when I saw, that the game finished 2-1, so, we can only be happy with that. And fair play to the lads, for sticking at it and keeping Celtic in the tie, really.
Well, exactly, aye. Well, still in it, but again, that word hope springs up. What about what was I going to say about that game? The penalty, Celtic penalty incident, the stamp on the foot, you think that was a penalty?
Yeah, I've seen them given, John, but I've also seen them not given, so it's one of the ones, isn't it? It's down to the referee, it's his choice. He went over the monitor, didn't he, to look at it for about 15 minutes and then never gave it. It's the strangest thing ever, but I've seen them given. It's still dangerous play, but the big defender the big £45 million man. He did get a toe to the ball first, didn't he? But it is still dangerous play as well. So you can look at it both ways. But John, I think the overall decision was correct. I think no penalty there.
I agree. I don't think it was a penalty either. If you contact the player first, obviously it's a penalty. But if you're getting your foot on the ball first, and if that penalty was given against Celtic, we would all be in uproar about it. So I think it was a correct decision. Same with the goal. Adam Meaders in an offside position, standing in front of the keeper. And by the law of the land, that goal doesn't stand, unfortunately. But nice finish by Nicolas-Gerrit, by the way.
Yeah, I think that sort of rattled with Nicholas, didn't it? Because he wasn't really his usual self after that. If they'd scored that and it would have counted, the wee man would have been flying the whole night. But that's the breaks, isn't it, John? That's your, that's but you're up against. If it stands, we're flying. If it's chopped off, they go 2-0 up. So yeah, I agree with you, John. That goal should have been chopped off as well. But so unlucky. It's this kind of thing that only happens to Celtic, isn't it? Beautiful goal. Adam Meader doesn't touch the ball, but he is, infringing the goalkeeper, isn't he? So goalkeeper can't see. He's in an offside position. So yeah, correctly chopped off for me as well, John.
Aye. But anyway, it was a nice finish, and we got what we deserved on the night. We didn't do enough to win the game. Had a good last 25 minutes. No complaints with the result whatsoever.
No. Quite happy with that, John. We've got what we deserved. We deserved to lose the game, and we kept ourselves in the tie.
Aye, thanks for that one, Club. Rosemary says £500 million unreal. £500 million is unreal. You imagine that kind of money in Celtic's coffers, Xander, plus change to spare for wages and stuff.
Yeah, that's it, John. You're talking $1 billion when you take everything into account, John. How much did they spend last season? I mean, you're talking close to £1 billion. I don't know, obviously, the actual accurate figure, but it's a lot of money.
It's a hell of a lot of money, aye.
Yeah.
I'm scared to think what wages these players are on, isn't it? But I think our highest earning player is still Callum McGregor, isn't it? I think Callum's on about, 30 grand a week or something? 35 grand a week?
Yeah, it's I don't think it'll be any higher than that, John. But I'd imagine each one of the players will be on at least 200,000 a week, John. At least 200,000 a week.
Aye. Well, good luck to them with their money. Anyway, moving swiftly on.
So you don't want to wish them luck then?
No, I was just going to say good luck with your money, but I don't.
No, you don't need luck when you get that kind of money. You've already got your luck.
Nobody's worth 200 grand a week. There isn't such a thing as a player in my eyes that's worth that kind of money every single week. You're only kicking a ball about, for goodness sake, for 90 minutes.
Yeah, it's just went crazy, isn't it? It's went totally crazy. It really has. But we can only do what we can do as Celtic. Pay the wages that we can afford. And when you look at what we were up against, we gave a very good account of ourselves. So, good comment. Thanks for the comment, Paul.
James Doran was up next. And James says, so much for financial fair play. And Celtic's wage bill per year is roughly £20 million compared to Bayern. And he says it's basically 300 million a year. I don't know if there's any truth in that, James. I've no checked up on how much wages Bayern Munich pay their players. But I could believe that. And he says it's shocking and it should be capped. Well, we touched on that in the last podcast. What is it that actually should be capped, do you think, James? And you, Xander, what do you think should be capped? The wages that teams are paying players, or the amount of money that teams spend on players? Something's got to change because nobody can compete with that.
No, it's just a playground for the rich boys, John. That's the Champions League. Even though they've changed the format, the end result is still the same. Your Bayern Munich, your Real Madrids, your Juventuses, all your big teams. They're the ones that are going to get to the quarters and the semi-finals, John. At the end of the day, let's be honest. So nothing's changed with this new format. To be honest with you, they're going to see the same two teams in the final, John, more or less. So and that's all down to financial gain for these bigger clubs. You know, John, they're the ones with all the money. They're the ones that are going to get to the quarters, the semis, and the final. So nothing's changed. But if there's some sort of cap, maybe as regards to the Champions League, you can't put a team on the field any more than 150 million, you know, something like that. You know, that would maybe help slightly. Who knows?
Aye, it's just the wages these players command as well. I think that's the big thing, isn't it? That's always going to turn the player's eye. He's at one club getting 50 grand a week, which is also ridiculous, by the way. And suddenly somebody's crying, oh, we've got a lot of money, so we will offer him 140 grand, 150 grand, 200 grand a week. It's a billionaire's playground. We're not invited to that party, sadly. We can only compete for an invite. That's all we can do. But when we get to that party, we play no part. We sit in the corner and we take what we get, basically, which is probably a sausage roll and a sausage on a cocktail stick.
I like that. That's no bad. No, that's it, John. It's we're invited to the party, but only the reception at the very end. So,
aye, that's that. So we don't take part in the party. We don't get involved in the games, the fun, the rich food. You know, we're like boiler room stuff.
Yeah, John, that's it. That's bang on. That's well said, because that's, as I keep saying, John, you look at the quarter final when that comes around, and it's no long. Just a few weeks, you'll see your quarter final teams. I can guarantee you, all your usual ones will be there. There'll be no surprises, and that's all down to money. So, great comment, James. By the way, thanks, buddy. Thanks for that comment.
Aye. By the way, I've got nothing against anybody that works in a boiler room. I remember when I worked in a place and I get trapped. Used to stock the coal up, Xander. Because the place was the heating system was coal. I'm talking about 35 years ago.
Yeah.
30 years ago. And when I was putting the coal in, I didn't realise that the smoke was building up behind me and I couldn't get out of the place. I managed to struggle my way out. Nearly choked to death, nearly killed with it. So anybody that works in a boiler room shoveling coal into a big fire to heat the place, that's after you.
Don't get trapped.
Don't get trapped. Don't get trapped in the smoke, because that's a killer, you know. Couldn't get a breath, honestly. That was bad. But anyway, moving away from that stuff, we'll finish off with James. Well, and here's another thing I want to say to anybody listening. If you're leaving a comment, I don't know what's happening with YouTube right now, but it's deleting a lot of comments, because I've left comments and videos and I thought they were good comments, and I wasn't getting a reply. And I'm saying, how am I not getting a reply in these comments? Comment wasn't there. Deleted. So anybody that's leaving a comment, the chances are, if it's not getting read out, it's getting deleted. So I'm going to finish with James with another comment, because that's all there is left. It was just basically just talking about it being a tough game, but we've faced tougher tests in Europe. Well, this is true. We have faced tougher tests in Europe. Barcelona didn't get any tougher than that. We've beat Man United there, Juventus, a lot of other fantastic teams that's come to Celtic Park and couldn't beat us. So we were unlucky, but we started the game poorly, and we started the game on fire, and then it went poor, and we didn't come into the game till about 65 minutes. Like I say, it's all little too late, but aye.
Yeah.
Aye, you're right, James. We have faced tougher teams in the Champions League, mate. Aye.
Yeah, but I thought they were one of the best that I've saw in the Champions League, to be honest, John. I thought their style of play was better than your Man U's, your Juventus, your Barcelona's, John. Even Real Madrid, when they beat us, you know, their style of play was better. So fair play to the Celtic lads, you know, for keeping that score down to 2-1 and keeping us in the tie, you know that. So fair play to the Celtic lads, you know. Nobody's happy with a defeat, John. We don't celebrate defeats like other clubs, you know. But, you know, to keep that score down against that team like that and give us a wee chance over in Germany, that's fair play to the boys.
Aye, it certainly is. Keeping the score down, it's a must when you're playing against these big teams. The last thing you want to do is get embarrassed by another, I don't know, 5-0 or something like that. We've seen it with PSG. We've seen it with Barcelona. Recently, Dortmund. But when it comes to Celtic Park, we don't really get embarrassed that much with results, Sander. You know, it's always fairly decent when we play the big teams at Celtic Park. We don't really get embarrassed that much there, you know.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, John. That's us then. Thanks for reading the name out, John. Appreciate that. Thank you everybody that's commented. I'll have a wee look into that YouTube, any comments that could possibly be missing, because, you know, we do get more comments normally, and the last few videos have been a wee bit less. Okay, folks, get over to the Celtic Forever podcast YouTube reels. Have a wee look at the reels. They're quite good. Getting a lot of views over there. Have a wee look at them. They're not bad. It's mostly post-game reels that we do, so have a wee look at them. Hit that subscribe button as well, folks. Hit the share and the like button. Tell your pals about it. Tell them to get onto the Celtic Forever podcast, John. And that's just about us. Just a wee sum up for you, John, for the Dundee United game on Saturday.
As long as the spirits are still high, that's all. We'll be okay if the spirits are still high. I think Celtic will. I think they'll be okay. They never embarrass themselves. They'll look at the game. They'll say we had a goal chopped off. We gave the fans a good night, more or less. And it was a good night. The atmosphere was incredible. It was rocking. I think the Celtic players, I think they'll feel okay about themselves. They never, you know, they're playing against one of the top 3 teams in the world. In my opinion, I've said this before, Bayern Munich, incredible team. And I don't think the Celtic players will be in any kind of downer about that. They'll go out there and I think they'll turn over Dundee United. Yeah.
Okay, no, John, thanks for that. You got to remember, Munich just turned over, you know, Club Brugge 9-2, you know, so the top world-class team. All right, John, thanks for that. Hit that subscribe button, folks, as I've said. If you've not already done so, that would be appreciated. We'll try to get to the 4,000. And we'll catch you all on the post-match on Monday, folks. So, hail for now, and we'll catch you all later. Thanks very much.
See you later, Xander. Hail.
Hail, John.